Greetings, fellow cultivators. Welcome to Audio Nova. Remember to like and subscribe to support the journey. Today, we're diving into the story of what's the point of cultivating immortality if you don't have money. Hearing Fuki's words, Xiong nodded, saying to her in his heart, "This place is good, I can't feel any cameras." "Fuki, what do you think?" Fuki sensed it for a moment, then said, "Let's do it here." So Fuki transformed back into a tattered rag doll, using herself as a symbol of the evil god, and was placed on the cement altar. Then, Xiong placed one of his time remnant demon eyes in Fuki's arms as a medium for the connection between human and god. Accompanied by Fuki's remote tapping, a mysterious incantation came from her mouth, and the next moment, an invisible evil god power passed through the time remnant demon eye, connecting to the spirit realm network. Fuki said, "Alas, the conditions are limited, the sacrifices are insufficient, and the scale is not large, so the effect of the ritual I'm performing for you today is only average. The surveillance ritual can only control one camera, within a range of 10 meters, at most. The anti-surveillance ritual can temporarily block all cameras, within a range of about 15 meters. As the ritual was completed, Xiong felt the two new ritual powers in his body and asked, "Has your own connection to the network been completed as well?" Fuki chuckled and said, "The roaming ritual is complete. I can now share the spirit realm network through your eye socket." At this moment, in the eyes of this evil god, the world was finally no longer so monotonous. She could now also see various spirit realm projections, and even browse various networks. Xiong quickly tried the power of the surveillance ritual. He first used the detection ritual to sense a camera, and then, as the surveillance ritual was activated, a surveillance image appeared in Xiong's eyes. And with his mental control, the camera rotated, reflecting everything around it into his eyes. Feeling the effect of the surveillance ritual, Xiong thought, the power of this surveillance ritual might be useful on the construction site in the future. It can help me pick up some unwanted ingredients. However, having both my own perspective and the surveillance perspective at the same time feels strange. My body movements have become sluggish and not as agile as usual. It seems I need some practice." After completing the ritual, Xiong went to another location and continued to practice the war demon life extinction skill. So in the next few days, in addition to attending classes and practicing his cultivation techniques, Xiong would also use the power of the surveillance ritual from time to time, practicing the feeling of applying his own perspective and the surveillance perspective at the same time. One day, Xiong had just returned to his dormitory and was eating pinhaoyao while controlling the cameras on the street outside, watching the crowds passing through the dormitory area. Just then, Lemuelin's figure appeared in the surveillance footage. In addition to Lemuelin, Xiong also saw a young man following beside her. Zhuangji walked beside Lemuelin, his eyes scanning the environment of the 125th floor, thinking to himself, as expected, this Lemuelin's economic situation is quite average since coming up from the first floor, and she can only live here temporarily. I heard she's even sharing a room with someone? In that case, as long as I show a little more sincerity, the price for dual cultivation with her should be able to be lowered even further. Or, I can let her move into my dorm to offset the cost of dual cultivation. Zhuangji kept calculating the price in his mind, but said aloud, "Love, the dormitory environment on this 125th floor is still a bit poor, and the richness of spiritual energy is far inferior to the upper dorms. Have you ever thought about changing to a different one?" Lemuelin said faintly, "The conditions here may be average, but the friends I share a room with are all very nice people. Being with them, I feel it's very helpful to my studies." Zhuangji smiled inwardly when he heard this, thinking that the students who were sharing a room with her on this 125th floor could be of any help to her studies. They were probably all poor ghosts from the first floor. Just then, Lemuelin said, "I'm almost there, Zhuan. You can go on ahead if you have something to do. You really don't have to come here with me." Zhuangji smiled and said, "I'm just going that way, and I said I wanted to be friends with you. Can't I chat with you along the way? Now that we're at the dormitory, won't you invite me in for a sit?" Just then, the dormitory door opened, and Xiong, who had just finished eating the cement mix medicine, walked out. He looked at Lemuelin and said, "The medicine has arrived. Xiong and I saw that you hadn't arrived yet, so we ate it first. Don't forget to eat your share when you go in." Because the four of them returned to the dormitory at different times, they often discussed it online, and then ordered the pinhao in advance. After Yu Xingyan finished speaking to Le Mulin, he looked at Zhuan Ji and asked, "Are you a classmate?" The first instant Zhuan Ji saw Yu Xingyan, he was slightly stunned. Looking at the Foundation Establishment class ranking on the other's head, he was surprised in his heart. Foundation Establishment class. Looking at the ranking on the other's head, Zhuan Ji felt as if a pressure was coming towards him, gently shaking his body. Le Mulin is actually living with a Foundation Establishment student. Just as Zhuan Ji was surprised in his heart, Zhang Yu also walked out, planning to go out for body refinement. Looking at Zhang Yu's ranking of 8th in the Foundation Establishment class on his head, Zhuan Ji seemed to feel the pressure in the air becoming more and more heavy, forcing him to take a step back. At this moment, Zhuan Ji secretly exclaimed in his heart, as expected of the 8th ranked in the Foundation Establishment class, "Just seeing the ranking on his head brings me such pressure." The relaxed smile on his face became restrained, and he said cautiously, "I am Le Mulin's classmate. My name is Zhuan Ji. Greetings to both seniors." Just then, a graceful figure passed Zhuan Ji and walked into the dormitory. It was Zhang Pianpian, who had returned from class to eat. Looking at the words 49th in the Foundation Establishment realm of the talisman system, on Zhang Pianpian's head, Zhuan Ji felt as if the air had stagnated. His breathing began to become rapid, and he was shocked in his heart. Is she an academic master who has entered the system rankings? After seeing 3 Foundation Establishment students in a row, Zhuan Ji's thoughts changed again and again, and finally only one question remained: why can Le Mulin live with 3 Foundation Establishment students? Could it be that I was wrong? Is this woman's network and background better than I thought? At this moment, Zhuan Ji had already changed his original idea of wanting to use money to get Le Mulin to practice dual cultivation with him. If Le Mulin really has a background, then it shouldn't be me spending money to get her to practice dual cultivation with me. Instead, it should be her spending money to practice dual cultivation with me in order to improve her grades. That's right. I almost lost out. Zhuan Ji secretly thought it was a close call, and then thought again, but she doesn't seem to mean that. Could it be that she doesn't know the benefits of dual cultivation? If she focused on her studies in high school and didn't understand this information, it's not impossible. Then I have to properly promote the necessity of dual cultivation during college to her. But, thinking of the 2 men and 2 women in this small dormitory, Zhuan Ji's heart trembled. Could this be a joyous union, study group? Have they already formed a team for dual cultivation? Is that why Le Mulin isn't interested in me? That's right, why would practicing dual cultivation with me be as interesting as practicing dual cultivation with a Foundation Establishment student? The newest and most complete novels are available on 69shu.com. Thinking of Le Mulin being taken care of by 3 Foundation Establishment students in this small dormitory, thinking of them possibly engaging in a crazy four-person cultivation session every night after school, Zhuan Ji's gaze towards Le Mulin at this moment gave rise to a strong sense of envy. You can actually match up with such a high-end group. Zhuan Ji had always felt that he should enter Joyous Union University, but his elders didn't allow it. At this moment, he looked at Zhang Yu and wanted to say loudly to him, "Can I join?" Just then, Zhang Yu looked at Zhuan Ji, who was in a daze, and asked strangely, "Why are you still here?" Zhuan Ji took a deep breath, and in the end, he didn't dare to say what was on his mind, and could only say softly, "Senior, I'll leave first. Le student, see you tomorrow." However, at this moment, Zhuan Ji was determined to find out whether they were researching dual cultivation here. If they were, then he would spend money to get in. If not, then he would have to properly popularize the benefits of dual cultivation with Le Mulin. Zhang Yu looked at Le Mulin again, feeling that her gaze towards him had been a little strange recently. "Is there something you want to say?" Le Mulin quickly lowered her head and said, "No, nothing." She thought to herself, Zhang Yu wouldn't have noticed, right? Impossible, I haven't had a chance to make a move yet. As expected, his vigilance has increased since the last incident. Le Mulin frowned slightly recently. He has been leaving early and returning late every day, only eating and talking to Bai Zhenjin in the dormitory. And as long as he eats, Yu Xingyan is always there. Looking at Le Mulin's absent-minded appearance, Zhang Yu curled his lips, temporarily suppressed the doubts in his heart, and went to the space below the 100th floor, again, to continue body refining. In the next few days, with Xiong Yu's diligent cultivation every day, he finally raised the battle demon fallen longevity technique to level 20 on the day before the exam. Various basic attributes have also greatly improved. Dao Heart reached level 11, magic power reached 314.2, and physical strength reached level 11.29. At the same time, Xiong Yu's understanding of the battle demon fallen longevity technique deepened again, and his application of this technique to unleash potential reached a level he had never reached before, as if he had gone through years and years of hard cultivation. The operation of the battle demon fallen longevity technique to unleash potential became more and more integrated, and more freely manipulated in his mind. He only heard Xiong Yu let out a low shout, his muscles all over his body bulged with veins, bursts of hot air soared, and his skin was even a piece of crimson, as if it was about to drip blood. Xiong Yu could feel that, with the activation of the battle demon fallen longevity technique and the reverse operation of mana in his body, his physical strength had temporarily increased by a full 1.5 levels. At this moment, relying solely on physical strength, he could completely suppress his original self. However, Xiong Yu could also feel that his muscles all over his body were tearing at this moment, and his internal organs were operating under overload. As long as he exerted force violently, he would inevitably suffer a backlash of power, and then his tendons would break, and his bones would fracture. But in the next moment, he saw Xiong Yu, whose muscles were swollen, shrinking all over his body, as if he was leaking air. And Xiong Yu could also feel that the temporary increase in his physical strength had also dropped from 1.5 levels to 1.0 levels. Then his muscles all over his body relaxed again, and his originally crimson skin gradually became normal again. And the temporary increase in physical strength also changed from 1.0 level to 0.8 level, and then to 0.5 level. Xiong Yu thought to himself, this is the level 20 effect of the battle demon fallen longevity technique, allowing me to freely control the degree of potential explosion in my body. Even the lowest 0.1 level is no problem, and the highest can even break through 1.5 levels, directly reaching the effect of the second burst. As for how strong the effect of the second burst is, Xiong Yu has not tested it yet, and does not intend to test it for the time being. With my current level, I can probably fully bear the temporary increase of 0.8 levels of physical strength just by relying on the residual bull sacrifice technique. And if I had the self-healing power of the martial Dao Holy Embryo, then the temporary increase of 1.2 levels of physical strength is basically no problem. If I also take Wound medicine, or use Taoist techniques to bless me, then even a temporary increase of 1.5 levels of physical strength will not consume much lifespan. In the next moment, Xiong Yu withdrew the battle demon fallen longevity technique, and the visions on his body disappeared. The next day, the 3-month basic course was completely over, and the foundation establishment class ushered in its first exam. Dao Heart class. The students of the foundation establishment class were sitting upright, looking at Feng Jiu on the stage. Feng Jiu said faintly, willpower is the most direct manifestation of Dao Heart. The content of your next exam is very simple, burning in flames. As the students put on their spiritual interface masks, their consciousness instantly entered the spiritual realm. Unlike Yanhai, who saw the projection of the spiritual realm in reality, at this moment, they felt that their spirits had truly entered the spiritual realm. The next moment, accompanied by a burst of flames burning their bodies, many students let out screams. At the same time, Feng Jiu, as a spirit of an artifact, had already descended into the examination room in the spiritual realm, looking at the students, who had turned into firemen one by one. The first person she paid attention to was Ji Yuanshu, the top student in the class. This student, the only one in the entire class who had reached level 12 of Dao Heart, remained calm even when his body was burned by flames, as if what was burning him was not flames, but just a gust of hot wind. Ji Yuanshu's eyes were calm, and he thought to himself, I have to carry out similar spiritual realm training for more than 2 hours every day. What does this level count for now? Feng Jiu, the spirit of the artifact, observing Ji Yuanshu, silently recorded Ji Yuanshu, extremely high Dao Heart potential, tentatively selected as a participant in next year's spiritual realm competition. Then Feng Jiu looked at Gongshu Jin, the second best student in the class. This student, whose Dao Heart was the closest to level 12 in the entire class, frowned slightly at the moment, but was still able to grit his teeth and endure the burning of the flames. Gongshu Jin thought to himself, after this exam is over, I have to invest more spiritual coins in spiritual realm training. I'll get a membership card when I get back, and urge myself on. On the other side, Feng Jie recorded Gongshu Jin, second in Dao Heart in the entire class, tentatively selected as a participant in next year's spiritual realm competition. After observing a few more people, Feng Jie saw Zhang Yu, and she recorded Zhang Yu, suspected of having a higher mental cultivation technique level due to earlier foundation establishment, has a good Dao Heart talent, and is slightly short of the spiritual realm competition standard, temporarily listed as an alternate. Mana class. Li Mingbo watched as everyone input mana into the testing device in front of them, focusing mainly on Ji Yuan, Shu, and Gong Sujin. Judging from Ji Yuan Shu's mana purchase records, he buys a lot of both high quality and low quality mana. It seems that he uses high quality mana to infuse his body and improve the quality of his mana. Low quality mana is used to operate the mana skeleton through the spiritual realm network plugin. Apart from cultivation, he does almost nothing with his mana. What a luxury. Although Li Mingbo was filled with emotion, he was more delighted. After all, the other party bought a lot of mana on the mana treasure platform, which earned him a lot of commission. Gongshu Jin is also good. I heard that he lives in the most luxurious upper residence. After returning every day, he first replaces the mana skeleton, dedicated to mana cultivation. No wonder his mana cultivation is advancing rapidly, only lagging behind Ji Yuanshu. Well, Li Zhao's rate of progress has improved again. It's a pity that he's a student from the first floor. I'm afraid he won't have enough stamina. Li Mingbo's gaze swept over Zhang Yu again, and he thought, this Zhang Yu is also good. If he can continue to maintain this result, it shouldn't be a big problem for him to enter the top 100 of the Foundation establishment students in the Earth and Wood department in a few years. But the difficult thing is to maintain it. The top 100 students in the Earth and Wood department include all Foundation establishment students of all grades in the Earth and Wood department. In Li Mingbo's opinion, if a first-floor student wants to achieve this, he can only rely on the accumulation of years and may be able to do it in the higher grades. On the training field for body refinement class, Lang Yagong looked at the many students and said, physical bodies cannot be compared simply by looking at the numbers of physical strength. After all, the body's tolerance to drugs, your control over the body, as well as reaction, sensitivity, skills, these can only be truly manifested in specific practice. The 3-month basic course has ended. Today is the time to test the results of your 3 months. Just as Lang Yagong was speaking, Zhang Yu looked at the surrounding students and thought to himself, hiding data is easy enough with the anti-detection ritual. How should I perform in the next practical test? I can't let my actual performance far exceed the data, can I? That would be too eye-catching. Thinking of this, Zhang Yu looked at Li Zhao. This guy seems to be ranked 1 place lower than me. Then I just need to perform a little better than him, right? In the strength test, when Li Zhao shouted and tried his best to lift the dynamometer, he soon saw Zhang Yu also shout and lift a slightly heavier weight. In the agility test, when Li Zhao tried his best to avoid the faster and faster balls and persisted for 1 minute, he saw Zhang Yu not far away persisting for 3 seconds longer than him. Before the final speed test, Li Zhao took the package delivered by the deliveryman and thought to himself, Zhang Yu, he really regards me as his biggest competitor. He could feel that in the previous 2 tests, Zhang Yu was paying attention to him from time to time, and every time he confirmed that he had surpassed himself, the other party often reached his limit. Obviously, my threat stimulated him and inspired him, allowing him to perform better. Maybe to beat me, he even took some tiger and wolf medicines that damage his body. But the same, Zhang Yu, the same you have also greatly inspired me. After taking the newly bought fierce drug and feeling his body gradually heating up and becoming hotter, Li Zhao thought to himself, even if I have to stop cultivating for a few days, I must beat you in the next game. On the speed test field, Li Zhao's figure shot out like lightning, accompanied by the sound of air exploding, rushing forward like a bolt of lightning, closely following behind Zhang Yu. His heart pounded like a drum, faster and faster, his limbs swinging rapidly, propelling him forward in bursts. But as Li Zhao accelerated, Zhang Yu also accelerated, making it impossible for Li Zhao to surpass him no matter how hard he tried. Looking at Zhang Yu's back in front of him, Li Zhao felt like he was looking at the gate of the construction site, so close he could step through, yet always just a little short. Damn it. Why is it so hard for me to get into the construction site? Controlling his speed all the way, Zhang Yu led Li Zhao to the finish line, thinking, that should be okay, right? Feeling Li Zhao's grief-stricken gaze, Zhang Yu thought, just leading you by one place, no need to be so angry, right? But the next moment, as the test scores appeared, Zhang Yu thought, I'm fifth in the physical test. Zhang Yu frowned and looked at Li Zhao, thinking, this kid. Could it be that he usually hides his strength too? I should have known not to choose him to suppress. But it's okay, my previous physical performance wasn't bad, this extraordinary performance is still reasonable, right? Lang Yagong looked at Zhang Yu in front of him, and smiled, keep up the good work. If you continue to cultivate at this pace, you should be able to participate in the civil engineering department's competition next year. On the other side, several upper-level people had been watching the competition between Li Zhao and Zhang Yu. Someone sighed, they too are secretly competing, right? It can stimulate and encourage each other. Someone else exclaimed, their physical test rankings are so high. Yingxin smiled and said, if he wants to maintain this result, Li Zhao's money may not be enough. Let's see which of these first-level people runs out of money first. After all, first-level people are not adapted to university life, spending money lavishly, making rapid progress in the early stage, and plummeting in the later stage. There are many examples of this. Yingxin had long seen that Li Zhao was borrowing money to cultivate with them, and she always had a sense of watching a joke, waiting to see when the first-level person would not be able to repay the debt. At this moment, seeing Li Zhao walking over somewhat dejectedly, Yingxin smiled and greeted him, old Li, let's go to the practice room to cultivate together, after the exam. Li Zhao nodded with difficulty, forced a smile, and said, okay. In the professional course exam. Courses such as engineering formation drawing, martial arts strength studies, construction technology, etc. have both written and skill exams. Zhang Yu had already learned skills such as excavation palm, crane claw, racing car legs, and elevator vertical, and had all practiced them to level 10. However, Zhang Yu simply didn't have time to diligently practice some professional civil engineering skills, such as concrete ganki, hoisting strength, and back mountain rapid walk, and only barely gained a basic understanding through classroom practice. After all, he had spent most of his time and energy on the related skills of the civil engineering holy body. But in 3 months, the teachers didn't expect the students to practice these professional skills to any great extent, so Zhang Yu's performance wasn't particularly eye-catching. Gong Shujin looked at Zhang Yu's performance and thought to himself, this friend of mine's martial arts aptitude is really not good, but in terms of basic data, although the rate of increase can't keep up with me, it can be considered excellent. I'm afraid he spent a lot of resources. That night, all the exam results had been calculated. 6th place, Zhang Yu, composite score 688. 7th place, Li Zhao, composite score 682. Looking at the final ranking after these 3 months, a trace of confusion flashed in Li Zhao's heart. Just when he thought the opportunity at the construction site had been snatched away by Zhang Yu, a call from Talishan revived him. Li Zhao, not every student can enter the construction site as soon as they start school. This time, the only opportunity was specially obtained for outstanding students. Alas, I know you've been working very hard during this time, and I really admire you. Your grades are a bit worse than Zhang Yu, but I have faith in you. The first time I saw you, I knew you were a construction site person. How about this, you give me 20% of the money you earn at the construction site each month, and I'll help you smooth things over to ensure you can get in. Inside the dormitory, Zhang Yu showed off his 6th place ranking, and asked Zhang Pianpian, sister, I underperformed, will this 6th place be a bit too high profile? Jiang Pianpian said helplessly, a little bit, but it's still okay. How did you underperform this time? Zhang Yu said helplessly, alas, it's my bad luck, I chose the wrong reference object. That Li Zhao I chose, he probably usually hides his strength too. He probably chose me as a reference target, just wanting to follow behind me. But I chose him as a reference target, just wanting to run in front of him. As a result, one of us chased and the other ran, and unknowingly we improved our rankings again. Zhang Yu sighed, the top 10 are indeed full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers, and I'm not the only one with outstanding talent. Zhang Pianpian nodded slightly when she heard this, since that's the case, there's nothing we can do. Fortunately, 6th place isn't too eye-catching, so you should temporarily maintain this ranking, and don't easily increase your ranking by a large margin again. At this moment, with the opening of the dormitory door, Xiong, bearing the 11th place ranking in the class, walked in with a proud look. Xiong asked, "Zhang Yu, did teacher to talk to you about the construction site?" Zhang Yu nodded. "He told me to report in a few days." Xiong, then did he tell you about giving him money? Give money? Zhang Yu asked curiously, "Is there such a thing?" Xiong sneered, "This old guy, as expected, the prices he offers to everyone are different." Thinking of this, he had already contacted Li Zulian through his eye socket. "Xiong senior sister, I have something to tell you." "Li Zulian, I know. What do you want to do?" "Xiong, after all, he is my instructor. It's no problem to show him some respect with spirit coins, but his asking price is too high. I can give him a referral fee of 0.1 spirit coins, at most." Xiong, doesn't master have a student who works as security on a construction site? Can you ask about his channels? Li Zulian, ever since Dad had that accident, his students have been avoiding him like the plague. I'm afraid they can't help you. Xiong, I'm just asking. This country bumpkin teacher of mine is counting on the fact that newbies like me don't have channels to understand the market. As long as I have more price channels, it shouldn't be difficult to pressure him to lower the price. After finishing this matter with Xiong, Li Zulian asked, again the 3-month basic course is over. What are your and Zhang Yu's current rankings? After hearing about their results, Li Zulian revealed a hint of a satisfied smile and replied, "The results are not bad. I've found a friend who can help you improve the quality of your mana." Xiong's heart stirred, and he said, "Not through the platform." Li Zulian underground transaction. Upon hearing the news brought by Li Zulian, Xiong informed Zhang Yu, who was next to him. Zhang Yu knew that transactions conducted through the mana platform were legal and compliant formal transactions. Every strand of mana would be inspected and guaranteed by the platform, but a not insignificant handling fee would also be charged. And if they directly contacted others to conduct private transactions, they could save a handling fee, but they would lack security and might even encounter mana fraud, such as using low-quality mana to impersonate high-quality mana, or the mana quality might indeed be slightly higher, but not as high as claimed. In addition, underground mana transactions were even a violation of school rules. Once students were caught, in addition to a fine, they would also have their comprehensive score deducted, causing their ranking to drop. Zhang Yu had also once wanted to find someone to trade with, but because he lacked connections on the second floor and didn't have a trustworthy trading partner, he eventually gave up on the idea. Now, hearing that it was Li Zulian's introduction, he immediately nodded and said, "Worth a try." Zhang Yu thought to himself, it's not just Lemulan's Dao Seed that needs me to help her with higher quality mana. The improvement of mana quality itself can also increase the effectiveness of many of my cultivation techniques and improve the efficiency of cultivation. So, following Li Zulian's guidance, the two arrived at the empty street on the 85th floor of the Myriad Dharma University City. Xiong said, "Is this the mortal area? Why isn't there a single mortal?" Zhang Yu looked at the empty street in front of him and shook his head. Although he also often came to practice cultivation techniques below the 100th floor, until now, he had never seen a single mortal on the streets here. The mortals here seemed to always stay in their own houses and never needed to go in and out. The entire street below the 100th floor was always so deserted, with not a single figure to be seen. Zhang Yu thought to himself, but with no one on the streets, plus the lack of surveillance, this area below the 100th floor is indeed suitable for doing some underground transactions. But in fact, with the Myriad Dharma University's capabilities, it shouldn't be difficult to completely monitor the area below the 100th floor. Why? A moment later, Li Zulian appeared in front of them and said, "It's me. Today is the first transaction. I'll take you guys for a ride." Li Zulian led the two to the agreed-upon location, where a black shadow appeared in front of them. The other party was shrouded in a layer of black mist from head to toe, completely hiding their appearance. Of course, Zhang Yu and Xiong were the same. Under the guidance of true person Xinghe, they had both diligently practiced the technique of controlling muscles to change their appearance. At this moment, one transformed into the appearance of Gongshu Jin, and the other transformed into the appearance of Ji Yuanshu. Li Zulian had even transformed into the image of an unfamiliar man, completely unrecognizable from her original self. Watching Li Zulian exchange passwords with the other party, Zhang Yu used the power of the detection ritual to sense the surroundings and confirm that there were no cameras. After exchanging passwords, the other party nodded slightly. My rules here are, money first, then mana. Xiong asked, how many spirit coins for 100 mana? The other party chuckled and said, minimum sale is 10,000. Xiong frowned and said, we can't take that much in one go, and do you even have 10,000 mana? The other party seemed accustomed to this and said indifferently, of course, it's a batch transaction. I can give you 100 or 200 at a time. After some discussion, the other party's quote was 1 spirit coin, to buy 10,000 mana. Zhang Yu thought to himself that it was indeed much cheaper than the platform price. Li Zulian then said, I want to inspect the goods. The other party was also used to this and shot out a strand of mana into Li Zulian's palm. Li Zulian's eyes lit up. Such pure mana. 175% mana quality. The other party smiled and said, what I sell is always good stuff. You'll understand once you use it. Li Zulian nodded to Zhang Yu and Xiong, indicating that there was no problem, and then sent a message, you guys transfer the money to me. I'll trade with him to reduce your risk of exposure. Although they were a little worried about being scammed by giving out spirit coins all at once, after receiving Li Zulian's repeated assurances, Zhang Yu and Xiong still gave the money out of trust in Li Zulian. Each of them paid 0.5 spirit coins, a total of 1 spirit coin, to Li Zulian, who then bought several books in the second-hand market for 1 spirit coin, under the other party's guidance. Next, under Li Zulian's supervision, the other party stretched out their hands and placed them on Zhang Yu and Xiong respectively. In the next moment, Zhang Yu felt an incomparably thick, yet non-aggressive, high-quality mana surge into his body, and under the other party's deliberate control, it remained quietly motionless. Zhang Yu quickly circulated his mana to impact this high-quality mana. In the repeated impacts, he could feel his own mana becoming more resilient, and at the same time, some high-quality mana, constantly, mixed into his own mana. Although it was quickly diluted and then dissipated, the remnants still made Zhang Yu feel that his mana had become more condensed. In the blink of an eye, the ball of mana infused by the other party had completely dissipated. Feeling the changes in his own mana, Zhang Yu thought to himself, if there were such experts constantly infusing me with this high quality mana every day, the improvement of my mana quality would definitely be rapid. Zhang Yu couldn't wait to enjoy this service all the time, but he knew that how often he could enjoy it didn't depend on his needs, but on his account. Looking at his account balance, in the 3 months since entering university, apart from the 2.5 scholarship and the 5 spirit coins that Bai Zhen gave him, he had no income at all. The latest novels are available on Li 6-9, Shubi. Although he had been saving every day, including the monthly rent, internet fees, communication fees, transportation fees, food expenses, the cost of buying cultivation techniques, and the 0.5 spirit coins for buying high-quality mana this time, Zhang Yu still had more than 11.4 spirit coins left at this moment. I need to have at least 7 or 8 spirit coins to buy the Earthwood Saint Body and Key Meridian Perpetual Flow cultivation techniques next. Plus the usual expenses. Zhang Yu sighed inwardly and finally discussed it with Xiong, deciding that each of them would pay 0.5 spirit coins at a price of 1 spirit coin per month to buy 10,000 mana from the other party, who would infuse them each once a day. Zhang Yu thought that since his current grades were still not bad, it was perfectly acceptable for his mana quality to improve more slowly. The other party said only infusing a total of 333 units of mana for 2 people every day. This will only improve your mana quality by 2 or 3% per month. And the higher your mana quality, the worse the effect will be, and you will need a lot more infusion. With your qualities, you can definitely infuse a few more times a day. I think 5 spirit coins a month can greatly accelerate the improvement of your mana quality. After rejecting the other party's sales pitch, Zhang Yu and Xiong accepted the infusion of the other party's remaining mana for today and returned to the dormitory, intending to circulate their energy and slowly digest it. But before entering the dormitory, he heard Xiong say, "You go back first. I have something to do." Zhang Yu glanced at the other party strangely and said, "You don't hurry back to digest it. Where are you going?" Xiong said impatiently, "It's none of your business." He shot out all the way, his mind constantly flashing with the appearance of Li Zulian, before and after the transformation today. He only felt that his incomparably strong body was gradually heating up as his blood and energy accelerated, and his mind was even more restless. Xiong thought to himself, senior sister, I haven't seen you for a while, but I feel like you're getting more and more. No, I have to release it, otherwise I can't calm down even if I meditate. Thinking of this, a trace of shame could not help rising in Xiong's heart. This is unpaid overtime. Sometimes he even wanted to kneel down and begged himself not to do this unpaid work, but he found that he could continue even if he knelt down. And not long after Zhang Yu and Xiong left, the person in the black mist looked at Li Zulian and said, Boss, don't you need to give your friends a discount? Li Zulian said indifferently, can you give them a discount once, can you give them a discount for a lifetime? Let's go, it's time to go to work. With a flash of their figures, they had already shot towards the lower levels of the university city. Time came to the next day. This day was the first day of the official start of school in September. Zhang Yu looked at the class schedule and found that the 3 basic courses of Dao Heart, Mana, and Body Refining were basically the same, except that the number of courses had decreased slightly. In contrast, the number of professional courses had greatly increased, with many more courses on construction and testing, to train them to make good use of the various civil engineering skills they had learned in the past 3 months. In today's construction course, Zhang Yu was seen running a basic level cultivation technique, concrete Genki, displaying the means of controlling mud with Qi, and pouring a large piece of concrete into the target location several meters away. Listening to Audio Nova. Because Zhang Yu spent most of his time, after class, cultivating the techniques required for the earth and wood saint body, he rarely focused on the professional techniques taught in class. After all, the feather book's technique switching had a 1-day cooldown. To ensure rapid progress in the earth and wood saint body techniques, Zhang Yu never switched the feather book to the basic techniques of the earth and wood courses, such as concrete astral energy. Without time or the feather book's enhancement, he relied on the scattered practice from the past 3 months in class to barely master the few techniques taught in class, including concrete astral energy, reaching level 1. Just then, a roar came from a distance. Concrete streams, like gray dragons, poured into the target location under Gong Shujin's control, causing the surrounding students to exclaim in surprise. Multi-line manipulation, and the distance exceeds 30 meters. Has he cultivated concrete astral energy to level 10? Is fourth brother's cultivation so fast? Nonsense, he's so rich, how could his cultivation be slow? Gong Shujin didn't care about the surrounding praises. For him, with one-on-one guidance from a private tutor, the assistance of the spinal cord magic bones imitation mode, and the constant correction of techniques from the spirit realm projection, learning these things was too easy. He glanced at Zhang Yu's beginner-level appearance and smiled helplessly, thinking, he shouldn't be short of money, right? His martial arts aptitude is really, my friend, is going to be quite tired for the next few years. After the engineering formation drawing class that day, Xiong contacted Zhang Yu and said, come to the construction site after school tomorrow. I'll send you the address. Floor 666. Seeing the address, Zhang Yu thought, finally, I can go to the construction site to earn money. Inside the dormitory. After receiving the high-quality magic power, Zhang Yu felt the high-quality magic power in his body completely dissipate. He opened his eyes, revealing a hint of lingering satisfaction. Suddenly, he saw Lemulin meditating beside him and thought, I wonder if my current magic power quality can help Lemulin improve. If it can, I can get her Dao seed, the so-called deep cold magic vein, sooner. This Dao seed should help improve magic power quality, right? It should save me a lot of money. Thinking of this, Zhang Yu came to Lemulin's side and said, Lemulin, let me try to see if I can help you improve your magic power quality. Lemulin was slightly stunned and said, how do you do it? Zhang Yu said, I'll inject magic power into your body. You try to collide and communicate with my magic power. Listening to Zhang Yu's words, Lemulin's mind was filled with the dual cultivation matters that Zhuan Ji had recommended these past few days. Lemulin thought, dual cultivation seems to start with the communication of magic power between two people. According to Zhuan Ji, my innate special magic power has miraculous effects on the path of dual cultivation. Could it be Zhang Yu wants to dual cultivate with me? Thinking of this, Lemulin was shocked. If it's true, as long as I get the products after each cultivation, it's not something I can't consider. I just don't know how much money I should give Zhang Yu. Lemulin remembered Zhuan Ji saying that in dual cultivation, between low and high realms, the low realm usually gives money to the high realm. If Xiong Yu's price for one cultivation is more expensive than the selling price of feather juice, then I'll lose money every time I cultivate. Zhang Yu looked at Lemulin with a puzzled expression, her face uncertain and her expression extremely complicated, and asked suspiciously, is there a problem? If you feel uncomfortable, forget it. Lemulin took a deep breath and said, how much money do I need to give you? Zhang Yu smiled and said, no money needed. We're both from the same hometown, and now roommates. We should help each other. Lemulin's eyes flickered, and she said hesitantly, then. Thinking of what she was about to say, Lemulin felt extremely ashamed. Because she had rarely done things that took advantage of others like this, since she was a child, her face was slightly flushed. Finally, Lemulin mustered her courage and said, the one that stays in my body at the end, can I have it? Zhang Yu laughed and said, isn't that obvious? What's in your body is yours. Lemulin was slightly stunned. She thought Zhang Yu would bargain, but she didn't expect him to be so generous, giving it to her without hesitation. Thinking of her recent performance, Lemulin thought, it seems I revealed a flaw, and he discovered my secret. But Zhang Yu doesn't hold it against me, and gives it to me without hesitation. He really treats me as a good friend. Thinking of this, Lemulin made up her mind that she still had to give Zhang Yu money. Otherwise, cultivating and taking, what kind of friend would she be without giving money? Zhang Yu grabbed Lemulin's wrist, and a magic power flowed over like a stream of water. After a long time, Zhang Yu frowned slightly. The effect is a bit poor. Alas, after all, you haven't established your foundation yet, and it's not easy to improve the quality of your magic power. Seeing that Zhang Yu hadn't moved for a long time, Lemulin couldn't help but ask, is it over? Zhang Yu shrugged otherwise. We'll talk about it after you establish your foundation. Hearing this, Lemulin, who was originally excited, felt like she had been doused with a basin of cold water. Under the circulation of magic power in her whole body seemed to become icy cold. Lemulin said disappointedly, it needs foundation establishment. Zhang Yu nodded. Speaking of which, when is the foundation establishment exam? Zhang Yu knew that there was a foundation establishment exam every year, after entering university. The foundation establishment exam in high school was extended to several months, to give high school students more time to grow. The university students participating in the foundation establishment examination have long since reached the peak of key refining. Therefore, the foundation establishment examinations are completed in just a few days. Universities like Wanfa University, being one of the top 10, have even more slots for foundation establishment qualification certificates. Lemulin sighed, it's in November this year, about 2.5 months away. She touched her dantian and said, I already bought the spiritual route. I'm just waiting to get the foundation establishment qualification certificate from the university so I can immediately establish my foundation. Although Lemulin is a top student at Xian, consistently in the top 5 in Songyang City, and even maintains a top 3 level after excluding Zhang Yu, Bai Zhenjin, and Yu Xing'an, her various stats have long since reached the peak of key refining. But after all, she has to compete with countless top students from the top 10 universities. Looking at the doubt seat on the other party, Zhang Yu said, work hard. If you need any help, just say it. Lemulin looked at Zhang Yu and mustered her courage, saying, I want. Zhang Yu was slightly stunned and asked, you want what? Hearing the vocabulary the other party said again, Zhang Yu thought to himself, are you coming again? Lemulin said, I can give money. I don't want to wait until after foundation establishment. Fuji said, people are offering money, why are you being so pretentious? Isn't this exactly when you need money? If you don't earn money when you have the chance, are you worthy of being a college student? Although I don't know why you want to help Lemulin improve her mana quality, you can earn more money and improve your mana quality more. After she establishes her foundation, she can give back to you. Zhang Yu frowned, feeling that something was a little off. That night, after Zhang Yu told Bai Zhenjin his doubts, Bai Zhenjin laughed and said, what's there to hesitate about? Hurry up and sell. You're stupid if you don't earn money when you can, aren't you? Zhang Yu sighed, thinking, maybe I'm really being too pretentious. The newest novels are first published on Liu Jiao Shiba. Shouldn't the Kongshu people sell everything they can when they encounter this kind of thing? After hanging up the communication, Bai Zhenjin pursed her lips, seemingly lost in thought. A female voice rang in her ear, good disciple, your heart is disturbed. Bai Zhenjin murmured, why? Do I feel a little uncomfortable? Thinking that Zhang Yu's relationship with others seemed to be getting better and better. When she wasn't around, Bai Zhenzhen felt a slight discomfort in her heart. Lord of Seven Emotions, said faintly unhappy. Bai Zhenzhen wondered, isn't it? Am I the jealous type of friend? Don't want Zhang Yu to have other friends who have a better relationship with him than I do. I'm not that petty, am I? Lord of Seven Emotions said, human thoughts are composed of emotions. The complexity of emotions often makes it difficult for a person to confirm the true feelings in their heart. In the extremely sentimental sort now, this is even more taboo. If you are not sure, you should think carefully and confirm your own thoughts. For example, you can think about it, if their way of trading is dual cultivation, how would you feel? With a crackling sound, flashes of lightning flickered across Bai Zhenzhen's body. She said lightly, that depends on how much money Zhang Yu gets. Lord of Seven Emotions smiled and said, the extremely sentimental sword now, only by being extreme in sentiment can one be extreme in the sword. But if you want to be extreme in sentiment, you must first understand what your true feelings are. Zhuan Ji came to the dormitory on the 125th floor early in the morning, preparing to go to class with Lemulin. Because he wanted to join the other parties for person family, Zhuan Ji had been seizing the opportunity to try to befriend Lemulin during this time. Seeing Lemulin opening the door and walking out, Zhuan Ji was about to say hello when his expression suddenly changed slightly. He saw the measuring cup that flashed in the other party's hand and had already been hidden in her arms. At this moment, Zhuan Ji suddenly felt a tremor in his hand and felt a trace of pain in his heart. Damn it. Why isn't it me? Everyone is at the key refining stage, why is it Lemulin, and not me? After school that day, in the Yuan magnetic tunnel, Zhang Yu glanced at the 0.05 spirit coins that had been added to his account. This was the extra money he had earned from Lemulin yesterday, when Yu Xing'an and his sister weren't around. I just don't know when the next time will be. I'm just afraid that the company on the second floor won't be able to research anything either, and then it will be discarded as garbage again. Yu Xing'an said, hurry up, it's your first time working on a construction site, don't be late. The two figures flashed and crossed the layers of the university city, seeing the bustling market, the gray and dusty civil engineering teaching area, the golden and brilliant finance department teaching building, and the temple of the rune system full of divine power. When they arrived at the 666th floor, the two were surprised to find that this was a large construction site, with the night sky that they hadn't seen for a long time above their heads. Looking at the moon and stars in the sky, Yu Xing'an and Zhang Yu were both in a daze. Having been squeezed into the beehive-like university city for the past 3 months, living in a dormitory the size of 5 square meters, the two had accumulated some feelings of suffocation in their hearts. At this moment, seeing the vast sky that they had missed for so long, their spirits seemed to be constantly expanding, and a burst of joy welled up in their minds. Just then, a voice came, why are you here too? Zhang Yu and Yu Xing'an turned their heads and found Li Zhao staring at Yu Xing'an and saying, did you also give money? Yu Xing'an nodded. He did give a referral fee of 0.01 spirit coins. Li Zhao thought to himself, it seems that I'm not the only one who handed in 20% of my monthly salary. After Li Zhao's shout interrupted his thoughts, Zhang Yu didn't continue gazing at the stars, but instead looked at the construction site before him. A sweep of his gaze revealed that the entire 666th floor was a construction site, with roads and buildings being built everywhere, and various vibrations and explosions echoing continuously. Zhang Yu said with some surprise, the entire 666th floor is building things? Yu Xing'an, however, had already inquired and knew something about this, so he explained upon hearing this, the Myriad Laws University City was in always 666 floors. Rather, with the expansion of the population and repeated urban renewal plans, the Myriad Laws University City is constantly building new floors upwards every year. For example, the area below the 50th floor used to be the mortal area, but now it has risen to below the 100th floor. And the teaching floors of the finance and civil engineering departments, as well as the student dormitory floors, will also continue to move upwards. Zhang Yu nodded slightly, thinking that the entire Myriad Laws University City must have a large demand for construction at all times. This civil engineering major is indeed easy to find a job in. Just then, Talishan led 3 students to Zhang Yu and the others. Talishan greeted them with a smile and then began to arrange the tasks for the construction site. Zhang Yu and the other 2 would work with the construction team, while Yingxin and the other three would participate in the quality inspection internship. Li Zhao looked at Yingxin and the others behind Talishan in surprise, thinking Yingxin is also coming to the construction site? How come they didn't mention this to me? On the other side, Talishan continued, the six of you will be an internship group from now on, and the team leader will be Yingxin for the time being. After giving a few more instructions, Talishan led everyone to complete a series of procedures, such as registration and onboarding. And along the way, Talishan's eye socket vision flashed, and he saw a message from Li Zhao. Li Zhao teacher, didn't you say there were limited places? Why are so many students here? Talishan little Li, Zhang Yu's grades are better than yours, so it's reasonable for him to come in, right? Talishan not to mention Yingxin. Her family has been in civil engineering for 6 generations, a born talent who grew up on construction sites, and there is also an elder of the Golden Core true person in her family. Talishan and she is also excellent herself. After building her foundation in high school, she began to practice various civil engineering techniques. Now you also know her grades, she is ranked 3rd in the class. In Talishan's explanation, these students were either more academically gifted than Li Zhao, or their families had elders working in the civil engineering industry, giving them advantages that Li Zhao couldn't match. The more Li Zhao listened, the more he felt the gap between himself and the other students, and his mood became lower and lower. But suddenly, he thought of someone. Li Zhao, what about Yu Xing'an? He's from the 1st floor, right? His grades are not as good as mine. Talishan, he also knows people, and he spent a lot of money. Talishan, compared to Yu Xing'an, you gave much less spirit coins. Talishan, I have high hopes for you, that's why I gave you this opportunity. But it's good if you know it yourself, don't tell the amount to others, it will make it difficult for me. Talishan, work hard. As long as you are willing to endure hardship in our civil engineering department, there will be endless spirit coins to earn. Li Zhao looked at the message sent by teacher 2, and thought to himself, I must seize this opportunity, work hard, earn more spirit coins, pay off the loan, and strive to improve my grades. When the onboarding process was completed, a spiritual realm projection appeared above the heads of the 6 people, adding a layer of brilliance. Above Yingxin and the other 3's heads was a layer of red light, representing their identity as quality inspectors. Above Zhang Yu, Yu Xing'an, and Li Zhao's heads was a layer of blue light, representing their identity as technical workers. Talishan looked at the students and taught, once you enter the construction site, the color of the light represents your identity. Gold and silver are leaders, you must not be disrespectful in the slightest when you see them, and you must also pay attention to controlling your body size. It is best not to become bigger than the leader, and you must also remember to put away your foundation establishment domain. You already know what red and blue represent, and yellow represents the most ordinary key refining handyman. If you kill or injure them, you will have to pay compensation, so remember to be careful when you work. As he spoke, a key refining handyman happened to pass by, and Talishan pointed to the number on the man's head, and said, see? According to the latest construction site safety rules, the compensation price is marked on the head of each key refining handyman. Since using this trick, the number of casualties on the construction site has been greatly reduced. Zhang Yu thought to himself, damn it, so the main casualties on the construction site come from foundation establishment workers? You're not asking us to pay attention to safety and avoid getting hurt, but asking us to pay attention to safety and avoid hurting people, right? Just then, a voice came, Manager 2, you're here. Zhang Yu looked over and found that the voice came from a yellow turban warrior puppet. Talishan nodded at the other party, without responding, and the yellow turban warrior puppet had already carried a large pile of steel and left quickly. Yu Xing'an asked curiously, does that yellow turban warrior have intelligence? Is there a spirit residing inside? Talishan smiled and said, how is that possible? Don't you know how expensive high-level weapon spirits are? This yellow turban warrior just has a wisp of human soul inside. Talishan continued to explain, this person is called Huang Yin, and he is a college graduate this year. He rented a yellow turban warrior and put his soul into it to work on the construction site. Yu Xing'an asked, what about his physical body? Talishan said, it was rented to the pharmacology department for drug testing. Zhang Yu was also shocked when he heard this. The physical body is used for drug testing. The soul works on the construction site? Talishan felt the surprise in Zhang Yu's tone, and said with emotion, yes, being able to find 2 jobs as soon as he graduates is really amazing. Although your realm is higher than Huangyin, you should also learn from this kind of hard work. The construction site has Dharma bodies for rent, which can improve your work efficiency. It doesn't matter if you don't have enough money, we offer discounts on work loans here. Seeing Talishan's meaningful gaze towards him, Zhang Yu and Xiong immediately turned their heads away, pretending not to see it. Zhang Yu thought to himself, damn it, you're recommending loans to me before I've even made any money. Xiong thought to himself, senior sister said that the first work loan for college students is very important, so you can't make a decision easily. Behind the two, Li Zhou thought his teacher to hinting at me. I'll go take a look at what Dharma bodies are available on the construction site when I have time. Talishan continued, by the way, there are surveillance cameras everywhere on the construction site, so don't take the materials on the ground randomly. If you are caught stealing materials, the fine will be terrible. Zhang Yu nodded secretly when he heard this, thinking that there are indeed surveillance cameras everywhere on this construction site, so it seems that it is not easy to pick up materials here. After Talishan introduced the general situation of the construction site, he pointed to his eyes and said, you should now be able to see your work through the Spirit World Network. After you join the job, all the tasks of the construction site are directly released through the Spirit World Network, and you just follow along and do it. The wages will also be settled on it. Okay everyone, work hard. As long as you are willing to work hard in our civil engineering department, there will be money waiting for you to pick up. After Talishan left, Zhang Yu looked at his eye socket, perspective, and found a line of words written on it. Today's task: pour concrete. Salary earned 0 spirit coins. Please arrive at the work location immediately, countdown 23 seconds. Zhang Yu also saw a series of dotted lines of the spirit world projection, guiding him to the specific work location. Looking at the constantly ticking countdown, Zhang Yu flashed and shot out immediately, following the dotted line seen in his eye socket, all the way to a concrete mixing tower. Standing at the soil receiving point, as Zhang Yu operated the concrete gang key, more than 10 tons of concrete were gently received by him. The next line of words appeared in his eye socket: please arrive at the pouring location immediately, countdown 15 seconds. The concrete wrapped in gang key was like a black and gray giant dragon, following Zhang Yu all the way, and arrived at the pouring location in the blink of an eye. Zhang Yu followed the content learned in class, vibrated the gang key, tamped the concrete, separated the air bubbles, and then injected it into the template in front of him. At the same time, the surrounding array diagrams also appeared in Zhang Yu's eye socket. Zhang Yu recalled the content of the engineering array drawing class, thinking pay attention to the location of the spiritual machine path marked on the array diagram, which is reserved for the array nodes. Only by forming a spiritual machine path in the building, and becoming a part of the myriad laws, city, array, can it be convenient to strengthen load-bearing, reinforcement, metamagnetism, anti-gravity, air circulation, temperature regulation, and other functions. And as the concrete driven by Zhang Yu's Genki continued to pour down, like a waterfall continuously falling, the numbers on the eye socket gradually changed. Today's task: pour concrete. Salary earned 0.000001 spirit coins. Salary earned 0.000002 spirit coins. Salary earned 0.000003 spirit coins. Looking at the concrete after it started pouring, the spirit coins continued to grow with the continuous pouring of the concrete. Although it was only a little increase with so many zeros after the decimal point, it still made Zhang Yu feel a burst of joy. Finally earned money. This was the first time Zhang Yu had earned a salary by his own ability in college, which also made him feel that he was no longer a ruthless duckweed, and truly had a sense of security. And just as Zhang Yu continued to vibrate the concrete with Genki, he thought to himself, this process seems to be suitable for practicing a technique. His eye socket flashed, the great library appeared, and then under his operation, it quickly jumped to a long collected technique. Foundation Establishment Expert Level Technique Wu Ji Zhen Chan. This is a martial art that tempers the body by vibrating the body and Genki, and can also explode amazing lethality in actual combat, through high-frequency vibration. However, it is now widely used in the civil engineering industry for various vibration work. Like Zhang Yu vibrating concrete at this moment, he can use this Wu Ji Zhen Chan to complete it. It just so happens that I want to practice the third civil engineering holy body, so let's practice this Wu Ji Zhen Chan. The original price of 0.8 spirit coins, Wu Ji Zhen Chan, which was 0.5 48 spirit coins, after a 60% discount, was taken down by Zhang Yu in one go. After briefly reading the electronic version of the secret book, Zhang Yu operated the Gang Key, controlling his body and Gang Key, to gradually vibrate. After a while, Wu Ji Zhenqian level 1.